Yo, 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 what's going on? Hope you guys are having a blessed day. We are talking about and exposing at the same time Turning Point USA today. So, a video that's going viral today, Wolves in Finance is the channel on YouTube and X. He released a huge bombshell in regards to Turning Point. And then there is a whistleblower who got fired from Turning Point without zero excuses, and she recorded the conversation. So we're going to react to both. My opinion, the Zionists have taken over this movement, and we're going to also see what Charlie was saying days up until his murder. May he rest in peace. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let's get it started, y'all.
Turning Point. 3 of these companies are 501c3 organizations. Turning Point Action is a 501c4. The difference is that a 501c3 is not allowed to participate in political activity. A 501c4 can participate in no more than 50% political activity. And then there is also Turning Point PAC, which is 100% political activity. Now, I have seen arguments from people claiming that this is normal. They say it is normal for nonprofits to have multiple different companies. Not like this, it's not. Do not let people gaslight you about what's going on here. Let me explain what is unusual. You would normally create different shell companies for different types of activities. For instance, Turning Point Endowment is for their investments. That's clearly a different type of activity. It gets its own company. That makes sense. Turning Point Action is a 501c4. That's a different type of activity, so it gets its own company. What is this? Why is America's Turning Point separate? The company descriptions on the 990 form are very similar. It's basically education for young people. So why are these 2 different companies? The only major difference that I see is that Charlie Kirk managed Turning Point USA and Tyler Boyer managed America's Turning Point. So in a way, America's Turning Point existed to give Charlie Kirk plausible deniability. It gave Tyler Boyer his own 501c3 where he could do whatever he wanted, and Charlie Kirk would not necessarily know about it. This is
It's just amazing that anyone would donate to an organization like this. It's like the war hawks, the neocons, the ones that were all for the Iraq war and for bombing Iran and for the Venezuela kidnapping of their president. They're all in cahoots and want the same thing. It's pretty crazy, right? And the same donors control these same people. They're always talking the same talking points while defending never-ending wars, and our taxes, of course, fund it, and it always benefits Israel. If it doesn't benefit Israel,
explained in the fine
then there's something wrong with it.
print of the 990 form for Turning Point USA, which says, Turning Point USA's other educational programs include campus leadership programs, which are hosted by Turning Point USA's related entity, America's Turning Point, with grants totaling $8.6 million. So what is Tyler Boyer doing with these students? It sounds like this leadership program is a pipeline for these students to go work for Tyler Boyer. I wonder what these students are doing that costs $8.6 million. So let me tell you what I think is going on. Tyler Boyer manages these political companies. The Trump election is coming up in 2024. Tyler Boyer realizes he needs more people to do ballot harvesting. So he decides, let's just steal the donations from Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA. So he transfers $8.6 million into the company he manages, America's Turning Point. And then he hires a bunch of people for illegal political activity. And he tells everyone, come on, no one will ever know. Charlie Kirk doesn't even have to know. We will just say it is nonpartisan. We will call it get out the vote efforts. No one's ever going to ask questions. No one will ever look at the photographs. Don't worry about it. If all of these people getting paid from America's Turning Point are not doing political activity, then what are they doing? In none of the photos I have seen is there anything that would qualify as non-political activity. So what are they doing? In my opinion, this looks blatantly illegal. It looks like they are stealing donations and using them for something different than what they promised the donors. What they are allegedly using it for is illegal activity.
Not to mention, they said they were going to mail out the Charlie Kirk shirts and hats. These are small-time donors like everyday Americans like myself. And instead, they sent all of these donors these cheap little wristbands. So they played them, made money off them, and then sent them the scraps. Just like our politicians, they give us the bare minimum crumbs, and they promise so much. Same scenario.
This is why the letter with Donald Trump's alleged handwriting is so important. It looks like they stole the money to use on Donald Trump's campaign. And now Donald Trump himself could be involved in an attempt to cover up the fraud at Turning Point, the same fraud that he himself benefited from. Is this how Donald Trump is planning for Republicans to win the midterm elections?
The Republicans are going to get their asses spanked. And I voted Republican, as I've previously said many times. They haven't delivered on anything. The kill switch bill, which just gives the government and police control of your vehicle, was passed today in the House, and both sides of the political aisle actually voted for it. I mean, they haven't arrested anyone. They haven't charged anyone with all the crime and fraud going on in this country. The Republicans are weak. At least with the Democrats, they vote in lockstep, or Republicans, they just play each side, and depending on which state they're in. If they're in the more blue state or red state, that's how they vote. But I mean, at least the Democrats will vote in lockstep. It's just pathetic. Like, I thought this was the party of free speech, patriotism, but in reality, they're just all Zionists, and the biggest donor is a Zionist, Mayor Miriam Adelson, who Trump, that's his biggest donor, who owns this administration.
This week, Candace Owens broke a shocking news story.
Think about the size and scale of the event that they put on at Charlie's Memorial Service. They had AmFest. They had a huge donor thing at Mar-a-Lago. So everyone's been killing themselves, and no one's getting raises and bonuses. And yet, according to this person, Turning Point USA has brought in $250 million since Charlie's assassination.
$250 million.
Where'd that come from?
Are the Turning Point executives planning on stealing those donations and using those funds illegally for political activity? Because that is what it looks like.
Yeah, they're already propping up J.D. Vance to be the next president. Who gave Erica Kirk the power to put a whole organization together, promote an event, and say that this is going to be our front runner for the next presidential election? It is all a show. All a show. It's scripted. And yeah, they think we're stupid. But AIPAC, the people behind, the puppeteers who control these puppets, they've been exposed. And I think anyone 40 and under is done. We're done. We're done being quiet. We're done with the lies. We are ready to put our country first.
Remember what happened with Steve Bannon? He had a nonprofit where he was trying to raise money to build the wall at the border. He and his entire leadership team was charged with fraud because they were accused of using funds for a different purpose than they promised donors. Now, I have a whole separate video going over Steve Bannon's case, and I think that what happened to him was unfair and he should never have been prosecuted. But they were prosecuted, and 3 executives went to prison. The only reason Steve Bannon didn't go to prison was that he took a deal where he pled guilty. So if we were to apply that same standard to the case I have laid out against Turning Point, the entire leadership team would go straight to prison. Tyler Boyer, prison. The CFO, Justin Olson, prison. Andrew Colvett, prison. Blake Neff, prison.
Yuck.
Anyone who knew about the political activity and was involved in the cover-up would go to prison. And yes, that includes Erica Kirk, whose name is on the letter.
Erica Kirk is one of the most disgusting human beings in history. She was a honeypot. Her parents both worked for the Israeli government and CIA, connected through BlackRock and Vanguard. Not to mention, she was propped up by Trump's, what did he do? His little events, his little pageant events. He had Erica Kirk on those growing up. Not to mention, she was part of multiple CIA videos and movies. There's just way too much in her past that just shows that she's a honeypot. And Charlie Kirk was set up. And sadly, this is what Israel does. They do these honeypot things where they'll send, a hot young lady out to directly go to someone that could benefit the Israel government. And Charlie had the biggest voice at the time. So, of course, they're going to, push her towards them. And then what happens when he dies? Bam, all those people he was keeping out of the organizations, for example, the donors, the Israeli donors, they're now taken over. It's really that simple. That is a honeypot operation from the deep state, aka Israel.
With Donald Trump's alleged handwriting. Donald Trump, who talks all the time about election integrity, apparently does not care about election-related fraud when it deals with his friends. I am angry. I believed Donald Trump when he said that the Democrats were cheating in the elections.
There was a rigged election. Everybody now knows that. They found out. People will soon be prosecuted for what they did. It's probably breaking news, but it should be. It was a rigged election. Can't have rigged elections.
But doesn't this make him a hypocrite?
Yeah.
How can he talk about election integrity and then help to cover up what Turning Point is doing? If I were Steve Bannon, I would be so angry. Steve Bannon's life was destroyed over his nonprofit. And what these people at Turning Point are doing is allegedly so much worse. And they're not even getting a slap on the wrist. This is so unjust and so unfair. I think it is time for law enforcement to start taking action.
I completely agree, but we know they won't because Kash Patel is a little puppet. And I mean, Pam Bondi, don't even get me started. That woman is so dumb and over her head. Now this is the one that has been going mega viral lately, guys. And it is Turning Point cover-up update. Employee works. Yeah, I'll just let you guys see it. This video is crazy.
I mean, Frank, this is kind of wild.
I understand where you're coming from.
I know, and I know best to be here. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really content leaving for the day without further documentation, explanation, anything.
I understand, but it's time to go. We're just gonna say today's the last day, and that's what we're gonna operate from.
And there's nothing else y'all are going to offer me or plan to offer me. No, I'll send you an email about offboarding instructions that essentially outlines where you can teach it. So there's more, and then detailing the pay.
And you will receive your year-end bonus from your performance for the year, so that will be in that paycheck too.
Okay. So, I mean,
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming
No,
from.
and I know you're going to keep saying that. I
Yeah.
understand. Like, I know that.
No, I know.
And I know there's probably no magic string of words that I could piece together to procure some type of answer. But
Yeah.
I think on a surface level, like, I'm not going to walk out of here until I say my piece. Like, I mean, y'all know this. I just worked a series of 80, 90-hour weeks plus for AmFest.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
I've
it's,
had no direction or explanation since we've come back. Our CEO has been assassinated. I've done nothing but bend over backwards for this organization to the point where I'm wondering if this is a prank.
it's not a prank. I would never do that.
So I'm just trying to understand. And
No, I understand. It's time to.
so do
it's
I
time
get to have a conversation with Dylan? Do I get to have a conversation with Justin or anybody or?
Nope.
No, and there's no explanation as to why I'm going to let go. Just
right now, we're leaving all.
You know, and you're going to keep saying a different direction, but I'm trying to understand how I've met multiple times with my,
We're going a different direction with the team, and I have to ask you to leave.
you have to ask me to leave the
It's-
property.
They're literally just firing this woman who put in 90-hour weeks after the CEO, Charlie Kirk, may he rest in peace, got assassinated, doing AmFest, and now they're just letting their employees go without zero warning or exclamation. You know what I'm trying to say? Sorry.
Yes,
Exclamation.
Due to what, Frank?
because we're asking you to leave because you've been terminated, and we're not.
But there's no explanation or documentation for this. I've never had one bad review from Dylan. I've never had one issue with the company. I've never done anything unethical. And so I'm sitting here understanding why my entire livelihood is being completely tossed out. I mean, I sat
No,
in this chair.
you're gonna do great things.
No, and
I
I
think your
plan
livelihood-
to.
I don't think your livelihoods being tossed out. I think you're
Well,
very successful.
Well, my paycheck every other week is being tossed out, Frank, with absolutely no warning whatsoever.
I understand. But at this time, it's time for you to.
It's time for me to go. Why? But this
Because-
is the
because
treatment that Turning Point is offering now.
It's time to go.
Frank, this is crazy.
I understand where you're coming from.
I don't think you do. This feels very heartless. This feels without emotion.
I do understand where you're coming
This feels completely without
from. I
emotion.
understand where you're coming from, but at this time, I have to ask you.
Frank, I'm really not content doing that
Okay.
because I know that when I leave there, my credentials not going to get back in, and I'm never going to have the opportunity to speak with somebody at this company as to why I'm being terminated after never having my performance questioned, after never doing anything wrong, after working tirelessly through the death of Charlie. This is wild, and you can that's completely unsatisfactory. And so I have to come home tonight with no plan, no understanding, asking for clarity multiple weeks in a row. And I'm confused. I sat in your office when that whole GC situation happened. And you
Crazy.
said, and I quote, that if you don't get that job, I'm going to personally think that you got screwed over. And now I'm sitting here and I'm getting screwed over in a completely different capacity with no explanation.
Yep, I understand where you're coming from, but at this time,
So there's going to be absolutely no explanation as to why I'm terminated. So when I go to my next job, I can't explain as to why this chapter is closed.
we're going a different direction.
That's not an explanation, Frank.
It's the explanation that we're providing now
Providing from who?
from the organization.
From who though? Justin, from Dylan,
From the
from,
organization. I only speak for the organization. And I'll,
so different direction means what? Losing people that bend their backwards for the organization, losing people that would be willing to do anything for the organization, losing people that haven't done anything wrong. Like,
you're saying what you're saying, and we're taking on it, but right now it's time for you to go. And so at the time, say with peace, and now it's time for you to go. So
like how, okay, well, this is,
Could you imagine working years for a company for them to just, just fire you without zero warning after the CEO was just literally murdered live for the world to see? Very tragic. And look at this. Charlie Kirk was doing a little too much noticing before he was assassinated. Let's see exactly what he was saying.
And Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the #1 funding mechanism of radical open border neoliberal quasi-Marxist policies,
Facts.
cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews.
True.
Somebody has fabricated a monstrous big lie.
Who else thinks that Bibi Netanyahu is literally Satan? This dude is Satan and reincarnated.
That Israel had something to do with Charlie Kirk's horrific murder. This is insane. It is false. It is outrageous.
And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it. It's like time for you guys to wake up and say no more. Draw a line in the sand. I don't care if you hate me.
Charlie loved Israel. He loved the Jewish people.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Here, let's read that real quick. The Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them, reported Media Matters. This kind of inversion is dangerous because it both projects and normalizes grievance in a way that mirrors classic anti-Semitism. Oh, God.
Charlie always would say very clearly, Jew hate was brain rot.
Wow. And this is how they repaid Charlie Kirk for, being the #1 reason why Trump got reelected, by selling out his company, not really being honest about the assassination of him and how it was done, and Turning Point altogether as a company. Very sad, but we need to pass along these messages and expose these phonies for what they are: Zionist-owned clowns. Anyways, I'll be doing some more videos later. Hope you guys have a great night. Peace.